What's going on, guys? This is Matt Kowalis from SportsMemo and WagerTalk, back with the Thursday Best Bet. If you tuned in Sunday, we are coming off a nice 3-in-1 day and looking to keep it rolling this Thursday night as the Denver Broncos travel on the road to face off against the Kansas City Chiefs. Currently, that is a -11 home spread for the Kansas City Chiefs with a 47-point total to go with it, and 90% of the handle is currently on the Kansas City Chiefs. With that being said, I don't think it's that simple. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs are the better team. They're 4-1. The Broncos are 1-4. The Broncos have the worst defense throughout the NFL, maybe one of the worst in the history of the NFL. But again, this is an 11-point spread for the Denver Broncos on the road, leaving the back door open throughout the entirety of the game. And this is a Kansas City Chiefs offense that just has not looked the same to me. They are missing something. And with Travis Kelce a little banged up in this spot, I think they might proceed on the side of caution and ride guys like Isaiah Pacheco, maybe some Jerick McKinnon, and just try and rely more on the run game, run that clock, get to next week with their guys getting healthy. So for me, I do think the Denver Broncos are going to be able to keep this game relatively close. Yes, they do have one of the worst defenses throughout the NFL, the worst defense in the NFL, but they do have an offense that has the capacity to score some points. They are 10th throughout the NFL in points per game with 24.2. So although I do think Kansas City is potentially going to go up early and be able to score on this defense, I think the Denver Broncos are going to be able to return the favor and keep this within 10. And again, the Broncos are more than likely going to be passing to end the game, while the Chiefs are going to be running the football, trying to run the clock. So again, I think that back door is always going to be open, and Russell Wilson maybe gets a late touchdown to cover this spread. So for me, I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos plus 11. And another thing too is any road underdog getting 10 or more points is hitting at a 56% rate over the last 5 years. So I like that statistic to back this. On top of it, I'll go with the Denver Broncos on the road this Thursday night. Again, this is their first primetime game as well. So I think they're going to show up and try and keep this close against the Kansas City Chiefs. And again, if you've watched the Chiefs over the last couple of years, you know they play down to their opponent. Broncos plus 11 is the play. Moving on to a player prop. Again, if you've been watching these videos, we give one spread, one player prop, one anytime touchdown score. And like I said, I think the Denver Broncos are going to be passing throughout the entirety of this game because the Chiefs are going to be up. And one guy that I'm going to be going to, and it is not Jerry Jeudy. I know a lot of people like Jerry Jeudy in this spot. I think Jeudy could draw a lot of L'Jarius Sneed. So I am actually going to be going with Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton over 45.5 yards here. And, we're putting out an APB on Courtland Sutton. The last 2 games, he has missed this number. He's missed this number in 3 out of 5 games this year. But I think this is a good spot for him to bounce back. Last game, he had 1 reception for 13 yards on 2 targets. And, Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are the top 2 wideouts. He's going to get his target share. It is going to return. And, there's no drop in snap count by Courtland Sutton as well. Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy still the top 2 wideouts in terms of snap count, getting 86% in the last game in week 5. And now, again, facing a Kansas City Chiefs team who more than likely has the ability to get up, to force the Broncos to pass more down the stretch. If they're passing more down the stretch, Courtland Sutton is still that guy. So I'm going to go with Courtland Sutton over 45.5 yards in this spot. And lastly, we are moving on to our anytime touchdown score. And this is one I thought a lot about because, obviously, you take a look at this Denver Broncos team, and they have given up a lot of passing touchdowns, and they have given up a lot of rushing touchdowns. And with the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to look at some guys like Justin Watson or Noah Gray, who are those deeper odds guys with the plus 330, stuff like that. And then maybe someone like Jerick McKinnon, who maybe gets some opportunities within the red zone. But at the end of the day, it's tough not to just like Isaiah Pacheco. He's minus 160 to score anytime. It's a good same game parlay filler. You could just play it as is on top of that, because you look at what this Broncos defense has done against other rushing attacks throughout the league. Last year, last game, Breece Hall, 170 yards and a touchdown. We saw Khalil Herbert go over 100 against this Denver Broncos team. We saw Achane have 2 touchdowns. Mostert have 3 touchdowns. Then Brian Robinson Jr. also had 2 touchdowns against this Denver Broncos rushing attack or rushing defense. And, you know, it's tough not to go with Pacheco because he's stepped it up this year. It seems like Kansas City is relying on the rushing attack more than typical. And, you know, once again, Travis Kelce a little banged up. That's why I talked about Justin Watson. That's why I talked about guys like Noah Gray. But it's got to be Pacheco. You know, with minus 160 anytime touchdown score, I even like him to score 2. You know, like I said, there's been 3 players who have scored twice on the ground already against the Denver Broncos, and Pacheco's 2 touchdowns is plus 330 in this spot. The Chiefs are going to be able to score some points. I'd be surprised if they didn't have 3 or more touchdowns here. So for me, it's going to be Isaiah Pacheco. Anytime touchdown score, minus 160. And I think even that double is a little sprinkle at plus 330. So that's it, guys, for Thursday Night Football. We have the Denver Broncos plus 11. We have Cortland Sutton over 45.5 receiving yards. And then we have Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown score at minus 160. I also like that sprinkle at plus 330. And I think guys like Justin Watson, Noah Gray are also worth a look, especially with Travis Kelce banged up. I do think Travis Kelce is going to play, but if they get up early, this team is just going to coach. They're going to give him some additional rest and probably give some looks to some of their younger guys who trying to step up, maybe Rashee Rice as well. So again, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Matt Kowalis, Moneyline Matt on Twitter. Check it out, dropping picks and plays. And I'm also on the X's and Bros radio show every single Friday, breaking down the Sunday slate. So again, guys, Matt Kowalis, I am out. Peace out, y'all.